Let's count down 15 country tracks that didn't just top charts, they left boot prints on the soul of American music. These weren't just songs. They were twang-soaked testaments to heartbreak, rebellion, and raw truth. And the final track, it was banned in 3 cities and still went gold.
Louisiana woman, Mississippi man, we get together every time we can.
Number 15, Hello, Darling, by Conway Twitty.
Yes, that's Conway Twitty. Hello, Conway.
Hello, darling. Nice to see you.
You already know the first word, that deep, velvet drawl whispering, hello, darling, didn't just melt radios. It set a whole generation standard for slow, smoky sorrow. Conway Twitty wasn't just a crooner, he was a confessor, and this track was his church pew. The song hit number 1 on the Billboard Country chart and stayed there for 4 solid weeks, sealing Twitty as a romantic outlaw. It became his signature, a greeting he'd use to open nearly every live show for the rest of his life.
And each step you take bring you close.
If you've ever whispered someone's name into the night, you've sung this song. Next, a duet that danced across state lines and defied every border. Number 14, Louisiana Woman, Mississippi Man, by Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty.
Hey, Louisiana woman, Mississippi man, we get together every time we can.
What happens when you mix Loretta's fire with Conway's velvet? You get a river-crossing, heart-pounding duet that blurred the lines between country, rockabilly, and old-school storytelling. Released in 1973, but written and rehearsed in the early 70s wave, this track defined the golden era of country duets. It hit number 1, but more importantly, it redefined how men and women sang to and about each other in the genre. It wasn't a ballad, it was a chase scene, a collision, a love story soaked in southern sweat. But up next, a song that brought closure, even as it reopened old wounds. Number 13, For the Good Times, by Ray Price.
Now, here in the Marty Robbins Spotlight, one of the greatest, ladies and gentlemen, Ray Price.
If you've ever held on too long to something already gone, this one will hurt beautifully. Ray Price stepped out of his honky-tonk boots and into lush orchestration with For the Good Times. Written by Chris Christopherson, it topped the country charts and cracked the Billboard Hot 100, but what made it immortal was its emotional patience. This wasn't a song of rage or regret. It was grace wrapped in steel guitar. It shifted country music toward more cinematic arrangements, opening the door for crossover ballads that followed, and inspired a generation of misfits and dreamers.
For the good time.
But next, we bring it back to the soft glow and a love song, written like a poem. And I'll write you a poem if you hit the subscribe button right now. Number 12, Is Anybody Going to San Anton, by Charlie Pride.
How about a hand for Mr. Charlie Pride, everybody? Hey, Mr. Pride.
You can almost feel the dusty road under your boots with this one. Charlie Pride delivered this song like he was born on the back of a Greyhound bus, every note aching with restlessness. It hit number 1 in 1970, but its real power came from Pride himself.
Is anybody going to San Antonio?
One of the first black superstars in country music, breaking racial barriers with a steel string smile and a voice that could hush any bar. This wasn't just a hit, it was a quiet revolution. Next up, a coal miner's daughter who turned pain into platinum. Number 11, Coal Miner's Daughter by Loretta Lynn.
2 years ago, I wrote a song called Coal Miner's Daughter. And I know a little bit about this girl because I just happen to be that coal miner's daughter.
You don't even have to like country music to feel the weight of this one. Coal Miner's Daughter wasn't just Loretta Lynn's story. It was a working class anthem, soaked in Appalachia and hard-won pride. Released at the start of the decade, it captured the rural reality of millions. Loretta's plain-spoken poetry brought dignity to the dirt, and it didn't just earn her a #1 hit. It earned her a biopic, a memoir, and a permanent place in the American songbook.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter.
But next, the baritone Heartbreak King takes us somewhere darker, somewhere full of roses and regrets. Number 10, A Good Year for the Roses by George Jones.
Been a good year for the roses.
If silence could sing, it would sound like George Jones pausing between verses in this classic. A Good Year for the Roses is a master class in restraint, a man watching love die in real time, noticing the flowers bloom while his marriage withers. It climbed the charts in 1970 and solidified Jones as the crown prince of country pain. The strings swell, the pedal steel weeps, and George just weeps, because sometimes saying nothing says it all. Coming up, a woman's voice that ruled 1970 with gentle thunder. Number 9, He Loves Me All the Way by Tammy Wynette.
He really loves me. He loves me all the way.
Tammy Wynette didn't just sing about love, she bled for it. He Loves Me All the Way marked her 7th #1 on the country charts, and it pulsed with fierce vulnerability she made famous. It wasn't a cry for help, it was a declaration of worth. With this track, Tammy twisted the image of the dependent housewife into something stronger, more defiant. You didn't just hear her, you felt her aching belief in love that can endure anything, even itself.
But when he loves me, he really loves me. There's nothing left.
But next, a Texas outlaw turned simplicity into legend, with just 6 strings and a slow-burning truth. Number 8, That's the Way Love Goes by Johnny Rodriguez.
That's the way love goes.
Before he was 25, Johnny Rodriguez already had a #1 hit with this bittersweet gem. That's the Way Love Goes floats like a Sunday morning, simple, honest, and devastating. His smooth blend of Spanish phrasing and country twang gave him a unique lane, making him one of the first Latino artists to break through in mainstream country. This track didn't scream, it sighed, and in doing so, it whispered its way into the canon of classic country cool. Up next, a track that kicked down the doors of the Grand Ole Opry with Boots Full of Fire. Number 7, The Fightin' Side of Me by Merle Haggard.
You're walking on the fighting side of me.
Merle Haggard wasn't here to play nice. The Fightin' Side of Me lit up 1970 like a fuse, striking patriotic chords with a growl of defiance. It hit #1 and stirred debate across America. Was it a protest against protest? A defense of the working class? One thing's clear, it made Merle a voice for the silent majority, with lyrics that walked the line between pride and provocation. This wasn't just a song, it was a rally cry in a nation on edge. Next, a garden of sound that bloomed on every radio station in America. Number 6, Rose Garden by Lynn Anderson.
I never promised you a rose garden.
You've heard it, you've sung it. I Beg Your Pardon was more than just a lyric. It was a warning wrapped in glitter. Lynn Anderson's Rose Garden took country to the pop charts and didn't apologize for it. Released in late 1970, it became a crossover monster, topping country lists and breaking into the Billboard Hot 100. It won a Grammy, but more than that, it carved a path for women in country to shine beyond the honky-tonk. Lynn delivered heartbreak with elegance, sass, and a twirl of rhinestones. But coming next, a song so raw, Johnny Cash couldn't just cover it, he had to become it. Number 5, Sunday Morning Coming Down by Johnny Cash.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
Here's another of Chris's for the Rambler, the Drifter.
If regrets had a soundtrack, this would be it. Written by Chris Christopherson but made immortal by Johnny Cash, Sunday Morning Coming Down is the sound of a man sitting in his own silence. No guitar solos, no gloss, just hunger, smoke, and sorrow in his voice. The song hit number 1 and was banned from some radio stations for its honesty. But Cash didn't flinch. He performed it live on national TV, beard unshaved, soul unfiltered.
On a Sunday morning sidewalk.
This was country music stripped to the bones. Next, a song that sparked rage and reverence and divided dinner tables across the South. Number 4, Oki From Muscogee by Merle Haggard.
Mama's Hungry Eyes, Fight Inside of Me, and the very popular, which you're about to hear right now, Oki From Muscogee.
Few songs have split listeners like Oki From Muscogee. Was it satire? Sincerity? Maybe both. Merle Haggard's 1969 anthem rose to its cultural height in 1970 as it became a battle cry for traditional values in a changing world. It soared to number 1, instantly igniting debates across generations. Long hair versus short tempers, peace signs versus pickup trucks. Whether you loved it or hated it, you felt it. And Merle, he held the mirror up without blinking.
And I'm proud to be an Oki from Muscogee.
Next, the most controversial love song of its time, and one of the most enduring. Number 3, Stand By Your Man by Tammy Wynette.
Stand by your man.
No song stirred more praise or more fury than Stand By Your Man. Released at the tail end of the 60s but surging in cultural power through 1970, it wasn't just a hit, it was a lightning rod. Feminists criticized it, traditionalists clung to it, and Tammy Wynette, she owned it. The track climbed to number 1 and crossed oceans, cementing her legacy in country and beyond. Her voice, trembling and unshakable, carried the tension of every woman torn between pride and love. It was soft, it was strong, it was unforgettable. Next up, A Rose by Any Other Name, with thorns sharp enough to change everything. Number 2, I Never Promised You a Rose Garden by Lynn Anderson.
I never promised you a rose garden.
It was bold, it was lush, and it didn't sugarcoat a thing. I Never Promised You a Rose Garden took 1970 by storm and never looked back, becoming one of the most successful crossover hits in country music history. It charted in over 15 countries and earned Lynn Anderson a Grammy. But more than that, it gave country music permission to dream in Technicolor. Behind that shimmering soundscape was a warning. Love is tough, life is tougher. and Anderson made it sound like a neon lullaby. But number one, a prison-born ballad that broke every rule and rewrote them all. Number one, Mama Tried by Merle Haggard.
How about a little bit of Mama Tried?
We'll do it.
Okay.
This wasn't just a country song, it was an autobiography carved in chords. Mama Tried exploded with a raw confession in 1968. But by 1970, it had become a generational compass, pointing toward both rebellion and remorse. Merle Haggard, an ex-convict with a heart full of gravel, turned this track into his personal legend.
That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried.
It climbed the charts and etched itself into the American psyche, winning a Grammy Hall of Fame award decades later. With just 2 verses and a mother's name, it told the story of every broken son and every mother who begged him not to be. If you found this deep dive memorable, hit like and subscribe so we can keep the music alive. These weren't just tracks. They were sonic postcards from 1970, mailed straight from jukeboxes, dance halls, and long-forgotten back roads. Which of these songs hit you the hardest or surprised you the most? Next up, we're diving into 1974, where the ghosts of glam and folk clashed on every stage. You won't believe what made the list. Click the video on screen now to keep this journey going. Legends fade, but some keep singing long after the curtain falls.